Alright, if you're new here, sorry for the lighting. It is the only light that I have in the living room anywhere near me. But we're going to go ahead and talk about writing stuff today. It is 11:29 on February 3rd, and at this very moment I am finally sitting down to work on Truths and Chains, which is the romance novel that I am focusing on attempting to finish this year. Truths and Chains is a mafia romance, and that's about the extent of what's important, I suppose, for you to need to know. So, as it stands, I am currently, let me check my word count, 19,014 words into the most recent attempt at this book. This is the third or fourth, if not fifth, slightly different variation of the original idea to try and get it to go somewhere, and it's taking forever to figure out, but we're working on it. I'm happy with the majority of what's going on, but I don't like the most recent thing that happened in chapter 9. I suppose it probably starts in maybe chapter 6 or 7, somewhere in there, but essentially our main character, Elias, makes a phone call to one of my other characters, Jamal, and he agrees to have a meeting with Elias about something. I know what the something is. You don't need to know about the something right now. And they're going to have the meeting, but then something happens. Elias doesn't know what, and Jamal doesn't show up without ever calling Elias to explain why he didn't show up. And when I was writing that scene, it was primarily because I had accidentally forgotten that Jamal was supposed to meet Elias that day, and Vito was at the bar, so Elias needed to be at the bar, so I just kind of forged my way through there and made it that Jamal never showed up, because that's a very important scene, so it needs to be in there, but I had skipped it. So if Jamal had showed up, I would have just entirely skipped it, and that doesn't make any sense. So the issue here is that Jamal would never skip out on a meeting without telling the person why he was skipping on the meeting, unless he was literally dead, and I know Jamal is not literally dead. That's one of the few things I know about Jamal, is that he is not dead. So I need to go back and decide what needs to change. I think the biggest issue is that first, instead of him immediately calling Jamal, him being Elias in this case, I need him to go and try to talk to those people that he was initially calling Jamal about, and he needs to try and have those interviews. He needs to try and get that information, and when it doesn't work, he goes to his last resort, which is speaking to Jamal. That makes more sense. It makes more sense for Elias's character, and then Jamal not missing out on the meeting makes more sense for Jamal's character. It might mean that Vito and Elias meet at a different time. Meet again. They've already met at this point. It might mean that they meet again at a separate time. It will mean that their conversation will be a little bit different, and that's okay. I've been rewriting so much stuff for this book that it's 100% expected at this point, and I would prefer to fix it now than 40,000 words in the future when I realize that 40,000 words ago I dicked something up and I need to go change 40,000 words worth of plot. So I'm gonna go find where that conversation is, where he gives Jamal a phone call, and I'm gonna see if I can't fix it, and we'll see what happens. So keep you posted. It is now 1:42 in the morning on February 6th, and I just finished correcting all of the Jamal-related issues between chapters 6 through 9 in Truths and Chains. Chapter 10 has been started, like in terms of the book in general, but I haven't started fixing it yet. I don't think there's anything Jamal-related in that chapter that I started on. I don't remember getting super far into it. That whole chapter will need to be removed and rewritten, but for reasons not related to Jamal, just because things played out differently because the Jamal thing didn't happen at this point in the story. So I'll read you the numbers that I have written down here first, and then I'll give you a total of everything. But in chapter 6, I ended up removing 749 words, and I added 993 words in chapter 6. Between chapters 7 and 8, I added 60 words. I didn't delete anything there. It wasn't related to Jamal. It was just while I was reading through to see if there was anything Jamal related, I added some words into some sentences to make things flow better or seem more natural in dialogue, which is stuff that I normally do while editing, but since I was reading through it, I did it now. In chapter 9, I deleted 314 words and added 1,276. Some of it between Vito and Elias when they first meet at the bar, but primarily I did a much longer expansion of a scene with Elias. I feel like I really got into his character for much longer than I normally do, which is great, because I still really struggle with Elias's character. Every rewrite, he has been the thing that has been changing the most, and I'm hoping that this time I finally got it, but we'll see how things go. So, total, I ended up removing 1,063 words in order to correct the Jamal issue, and that also means that in order to correct the Jamal issue, plus the 60 words in chapters 7 and 8, which isn't necessarily related to Jamal, but were added regardless, I added a total of 2,329 words worth of scenes to write around the issue. So, I'm happy with that. I feel like so far now we're on a better track than we were before. We'll see how I feel after chapter 10. Given that things are going to go a little bit differently than they were initially going, but that's fine. Again, the thing that's changing the most right now in regards to it going a different way is indeed related directly to Elias's character and who he is and how he perceives Vito and a whole bunch of stuff related to that. But I'm happy to see where it takes me. I'm happy to see if it plays out, and if it doesn't, I have a notebook here to write down how many words I have to remove and how many words I have to add to fix it. So we'll see where it takes me, and I'll keep you guys posted. But for now, I think that's all that I have for this one. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay updated on any of my other writing or editing content or publishing content, feel free to subscribe. If you enjoyed this video individually, a like is always appreciated. And if you have any questions or comments about anything Truths and Chains related, my romance name related, anything author related, feel free to drop it in the comments below. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you in the next one, whenever that may be. Bye for now.